world is a book, and those who do not travel read just one page. Hello, my name is Sofia Matheu, and I'm an exchange student here at UTS, all the way from Chile. I'm here finishing my undergraduate degree and getting to know this beautiful country. I'm here to explain you why I think I'm both a product and an agent of cultural globalization in two main aspects of my life, as an exchange student and how it affected me as a consumer. First of all, it's important to understand what culture means to me. Culture for me is the way people live, their customs, language, tradition, the way they interact with each other. It is not built once and for all. It changes every time and constructs itself with different societies. Also, as Anne Phillips says, culture is human creativity and intellect that produces framework for individuals and groups. This is why culture learned, transmitted, and shared through generations and molding the human interactions and behaviors. Well, being here as an exchange student has opened my eyes. It has made me realize the cultural diversity that exists in Australia, seeing it as a cosmopolitan city. Unlike Chile, the country where I live, most of my friends there share the same ethnic characteristics as me. Unlike my experience here, I have met people from all possible groups, knowing and understanding cultures so different from mine. Despite these differences, I have never felt minority here since we all come from different cultural backgrounds, and that makes us in some sense belong to the same group, don't you think? Because the notion of translocality seeks to break these dichotomies from the recognition of horizontal relationships between cultural practices located in different societies. I believe that my exchange here is a clear example of me being an agent and a product of globalization. Years ago, studying in a country 12,000 miles away was not an easy task, but today, thanks to different factors that facilitate this process, it is possible to do it without a major problem. Also, the language barrier is a clear example of why I'm a global citizen. Being able to interact with people who speak different languages and the expansion of the English language throughout the world, giving a possibility to connect with others and keep growing in the global acceptance. As Massey explained in A Global Sense of Place, made me understand that an interpretation of a place, like Sydney for example, it is not exclusively the social, historical aspects of the surroundings, but rather a manifestation of social and local interactions of the global community. Because when you're in a different country, you can't appreciate how lifestyles work, diverse and rich cultures, behaviors, attitudes, language, if you don't understand the language, the global sense of place. Not only Australia, but the whole world for me is a place of encounter where crossing between distant and different groups of cultures coexist in a same place. That is transcended and manifested, intensifying the sense of local, because as we study in class, global can't be separated from local. Secondly, the vast majority of the world is immersed in a process of globalization that is interdependence between the different countries, linking the cultural, social, and market aspects. Because as explained in the periodizing globalization reading, globalization is a process, not a condition. This means it changes and fits from different aspects of this world. It has an heuristic function that has shifted to growing worldwide connectivity. The introduction of new products to the societies has generated a change in the habits, attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors of the consumer, and is constantly invaded with a diversity information and products from different countries. Companies not only export the products, but at the same time they export the lifestyle, not only through the means of communications, but also through social groups. This aspect of globalization can clearly be seen in my decision to come to study here. Because of media advertising, in this case, I'm also an agent and a product of globalization. This phenomenon grows due to international trade, because we as a consumer are becoming more and more delicate and selective in our decisions. We can see it everywhere in our social media. Information that gets to us is previously chosen to win our liking, and it is exactly like Elie Pariser explained in his TED Talk about filter bubbles. I can relate that to my process before the exchange. Ticket offers, work, food, activities, hotels, and all kinds of things related to this exchange to Sydney appeared on my social media, a sign of globalization affecting my decision and becoming the product of this huge network. To conclude, I think it's important to understand that as a human we are part of this global culture in which we cannot be outside. Since we live within a sphere of which we are all an active part, we must assimilate that our decisions have an important impact in this process of growth and understanding of the world in which we live. Me and each human being is in his own way an agent and a product of this phenomenon and will continue for the rest of generations to come.